Now let's solve a very interesting use case. This use case is very frequent and mostly admins take care of these kind of work. Sometimes this work takes few minutes and sometimes it takes a lot of time. For this use case, let me show a picklist field in my org. So let me go back to my org and here in the account object, let me show a field. So I have a field called business partners and it's a picklist field. So here, this is a picklist field, business partners, and we have all the business partners for this organization. So we have like around 40 values here, and you can see there we have the label names and we have the API name. So now what is the use case? So currently you see that these are the label name. Now let's say that business has a requirement to update the values for the labels or maybe the API name. Let's say that in our use case, the business wants to update all of these labels. So for this pick list, business wants to update all of the label. Now for that, they have actually given you one CSV file. So this is the CSV file where this is the existing name and this is the new name that business wants. This is the existing name and this is the new name that business wants. So as per this CSV, you need to update all of the picklist values. And now usually how we do that is we go to this one and let's edit this one. So we will click on the edit button. We will change the label name. We will save it. We will come back and then we'll do for the next label. And then we'll do for the next value. So we'll edit this one. We'll change the label value. We will click on save and we'll keep on doing that. Now here we can see that we have around 40 values. Now let's say that we have a pick list where we have 100 or maybe more than those values. So in that case, it can take a lot of time. Now, how can we solve this requirement by not spending this much time? So for that, let's see how our Salesforce CLI can help us. Now, instead of opening my VS Code, I'm going to open another IDE and I have not talked about it. This is basically Cursor. So we have a dedicated sections where we will understand about Cursor. Cursor is nothing but a IDE and I'm going to use Cursor for this requirement. It is very similar to VS Code. The reason why I'm using Cursor right now is because I want to show how you can solve this requirement in two ways. One is simply using the Salesforce CLI and metadata file, and one is using the combination of Salesforce CLI, that is metadata file, plus Gen AI. Now, the first thing that we need is we need this picklist field in our VS Code. So for that, let's go to the org browser. In your VS Code as well as in your Cursor, you can access your metadata through this org browser, or there are various extensions also which you can use. But I'm going to use this org browser. So let's just retrieve the field. First of all, the field is in object, account object. So we need to go to the custom object. Here we are, and in the account object, the field is. So let's just retrieve this. Right. So we have retrieve account object. And now if we go here in the object section, we can see the fields and we have our business partner field here. Now, this is the metadata file of the same field, same picklist field, and we can see that we have all the values here. So we have all the 40 values. We have the label name. So this is the label name of each value, and this is the API name of each value. Now, the first way through which we can actually do this requirement little faster is directly changing the values here. Now, what is the advantage of doing it from here? The advantage here is that you remember how many clicks we had to do. We had to first open the first value, we click edit, we change the value, we click on save, we go back, we click on the second value, we click edit, we change the value, we come back. So that was a lot of clicks that we had to do. So if we have to update around 100 picklist values, so that will be like around 400 to 500 clicks. But here we don't have to do that. So first way to change is let's copy the value from our CSV. So this is the new label that we want. So we can just copy from here. We can change this label here. And you see, we are not navigating here and there. We can just take the values from the CSV quickly like this. And we can keep on updating here. So this is the new value. This is the new value that we want. Right? And once you're done, you need to do it for all the 40 values. You need to click on deploy this source to org. Now, how it is saving our time is that it is actually saving us from a lot of clicks. We just need to copy paste the value here in the label section and we just need to deploy it. So now if we go back to our org and just refresh it, I have just updated 2 values. So here we can see that the label is updated. Now this is still a better approach. Instead of clicking on edit on every value, changing the label name and coming back and clicking on second one, this is definitely going to save our time, because changing the value in the VS Code, this file would be much faster than changing the value through the UI. Now this is one way through which we can solve this requirement. Now I want to show another way with which all of this effort that I was doing, where I was changing the label name of each value, I do not want to do even that. I want that to be done by my cursor AI. So this cursor AI, again, in our section where we will introduce cursor, I will explain everything, what cursor is and how does it provide all the AI capabilities. But here in this one, just see this example, how it is going to help me do this activity. So I'm going to revert it back. I'm just going to revert it back. So what I have done is I just reverted both the label name that I was doing manually. Instead of that, I'm going to ask my AI assistant, which is there in this cursor, to do this activity for me. So remember, we have this CSV file, right? Where each label name, we know the corresponding new value. For each label name, we know the corresponding value, right? Let's ask our cursor's AI assistant to do this for us. So what I want my cursor to do is, I want it to replace the values, this value with this value, this value with this value. So I do not want to copy paste myself. Rather, I want my cursor to do it for me, and I will just deploy the metadata file to the org. Now to do that, I will use cursor's composer. Again, this composer, the chat feature, inline editing, everything we will discuss when we introduce cursor. But right now, to invoke the composer of cursor, we need to type the command Ctrl+Shift+K in the cursor IDE. So this will open the composer. Again, we will understand about this composer, inline editing, and chat feature. Whatever the features that cursor provides, we will discuss that in the composer section. But right now I have this composer. What it does is it allows me to talk to the AI assistant, and I can give some instruction, and this AI assistant will follow that instruction and perform the task for me. So what I want it to do is, I'm going to ask it to update this meta file. That I can do that by using @ in the files tab. I'm saying that this file. So since this file is already open, it is prompting me that, do you want to refer this file? Yes, I want to refer this file. So you see that now this AI assistant has access to this file. At the moment I use @ and I assign the file, now it has access to this file. Now I want to say that I want you to update the label name of each value inside the. So now I'm actually helping this AI assistant that when you have access to this file, then you need to go to the value set definition, because all of these 40 picklist values are inside the value set definition. So I'm saying that inside the value set definition, basically what I'm doing is I'm actually helping this AI assistant to find what to be updated. I want it to update the label name, but that label name it will find inside the value set definition tag. So as much information you will provide to your AI assistant, it will perform the task that better. So now we have said that you need to update the label name. Now it will ask, how do I update? I mean, where the values, with which value should be updated from which value. So for that, we can say that to update the name, you need to refer this CSV file. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give it the CSV file itself so that it can do the comparison. What I want this AI assistant to do is take this value, search this in the CSV file, and whatever the corresponding name, the new name that we have assigned, that should be updated here. Now for that, I need to assign that file. So now I want this AI assistant to have access to that CSV file. So for that, what I'll do is I will just upload that file in this folder. So this is my folder. I'll go to the Force app. So I'm going to copy paste that file here. Now the file is available here. So now you see the file should be here. This is the one. For that, now we can say that I want you to refer this CSV file. So that is @. Or one way is you can navigate through the files, and the easy way is just open this file here. So now the file is available. So now the file is open in the tabs. So now just see what happens. The moment I see files, it will find that I might be referring to this file. So I'm saying that BP data CSV. So now again, what we are saying that I want you to update the label name of this meta file, right? And to do that, we actually helping it saying that these label name will be there within the value set definition. Now, next step is we need to instruct this AI assistant how to read that CSV file. So for that, I'm going to give it a prompt. Let me just copy paste here. So now let's see what I'm saying. I'm saying that I want you to update the label name of each value inside the value set definition. To update the name, you need to refer this CSV file. Now it has access to the meta file as well as the CSV file. But how to read that CSV file, we are instructing here. So we are saying that this CSV has two columns, BP name and new name. So you remember our CSV file. So it has BP name and the new name. So now we are instructing this AI assistant that you need to match the BP name in the label. So we are saying that this label you need to match with the BP name column, and then here we can say that, and then update the value with the new name in the CSV file. Do it for all the 40 values. Now with this AI assistant has access to the file which it needs to edit, the file from where the data is available, like what is the new name that it needs to do. And we have also given some of the instruction how to read this file and how to perform the changes. So let me just click on enter and see what happens. So you see that what it is telling, I'll help you to update the label values in the business partner meta file. So it has access to that file based on the mapping in the CSV file. So it seems like it has understood our requirement. The full name values will remain the same. So it's saying that it will only update the label name, but not the developer name, but will update the label name values to match the new name from the CSV. So it seems like, although my instruction was not very clear, but it has understood that and it is performing that for us. So let's just wait for it, and looks like it has performed that activity, and you will see that it is able to update the file directly. Let me just drag this composer to the right. And here you can see that what are the thing it has done. It has updated the allied innovations with A innovation. It has updated Vertex solutions with V solutions. It has updated Summit partners with S partners 1. And that was the value in the CSV. Let me just show you the CSV again. So here you can see that Summit partners was S partners 1, and that's exactly what it has done. And again, Harmony Ventures with H Ventures. Now, one important note is that it has done the update, but this file is not yet saved. It is asking us to review the changes. Only after reviewing changes, we should click on accept all. By looking at the first few values, I think it has performed the job very well. So I can actually click on accept all, and you will see that all the changes will save. Now all the changes are saved. So all of our label names are updated. We can again cross check with the CSV file, but it looks like everything is updated. Synergy group becomes CS group. Nexus global become N global. And that is what exactly our CSV had. And it seems like the AI assistant had done this job very well. So let's just deploy now. So now what exactly I did is I'm using the same approach where I was updating the label names directly in the meta file, but I'm using the AI assistant to do that work for me. I gave it access to the file. I gave it access to the CSV from where it needs to read the value, and it was able to update all the label name, and that actually saved all of my time. Instead of me updating all these label one by one by referring to the CSV file, again, that was itself was a productivity over the manual clicks that we had to do on the UI. Let's talk about, we have 200 values to update. If I had to do that in the UI, it would have taken, let's say, 1 to 2 hours. If I had to do that directly in this meta file by changing the name by referring to the CSV file, it might have taken me half an hour. That's a productivity gain of 1.5 hours. Now this AI doing that for me, I'm actually saving a lot of time. And now since this is uploaded, so let's go back to our org. And let's just refresh and see if all of our label names are updated or not. Right. So now we can see that all the label names, all of the 40 values are updated. So this is really good. We are able to do that without doing all of that clicks, without, going from CSV to Salesforce, Salesforce to CSV. We didn't do anything. We just asked our cursor to make the changes into the meta file, and we just deployed the meta file. So using all these tools in our hand, such as Salesforce CLI or all these new AI assistants, we can actually perform our task really fast.